Welcome to Trading Lounge and also 2019, and starting with the DAX here. It'll be nice to see the first days of trade come in for 2019, just to give us a little bit of direction and seeing where the volume is as the volume creates the price. So in this particular case for the DAX, we've got a situation where we've got wave B here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I know that can be counted differently, but wave 2 here, wave 3 here, and looking at wave 4. So we've been looking at wave 4 as either here, and if it is here, in this case here, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a low in place, so we could put that here. And the alternative count is that we've got wave 4 here as an A and a B and a C wave here, and then we'd have this down for 1 and 2 and 3 here. But this is not looking like 3 unless it's down for 1, back for 2, and down for 3 again. So that's quite possible as well. So firstly, it's quite possible that we have a low in place for the DAX and the European markets. So we need to be mindful of that, and also we would need to be mindful of further downside. So the further downside, just while we're here, if we looked at this here to here, then the 61.8% retracement level, just where this is here now, is where this can play out as resistance here. And this is kind of why we need to see what the US is going to do and how the European markets are going to react from that. So as it stands here, it's possible, if I can just go to the 4-hour chart now, and of course this would be the same for the other European markets as well, with wave 3 over here, wave 4 here, wave 1 and 2 here, and nice strong third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave with a low here. I also need to point out too that this particular pattern here, as you can see, that's in 3 waves here, which is pretty much in line with the futures market and so on. On the cash market, that low is not like that. So if I can just bring across a little cash market chart here, from the low here, this move is just straight up in one move here, which looks rather impulsive in 5 waves. So that would give it the direction here of an A wave, or up for 1 and back for 2, and then up for 3 or up for C here. So this move straight up here is different from this current move here. So how do we, accommodate that, and how do we move about, through that? As I mentioned, there's 2 points here. First of all, the first point here is from this particular leg here, where we've got that 50-60% retracement level area here. So that's kind of critical here. So if that develops the support here, then we know that then this leg here is being breached and will be going higher. So the next leg that we'd look up from would have to take the next wave of 1 larger degree, which would be here. And then we would need to look at the next space here, which is quite suitable really in terms of the 11,000 here. But I know in terms of the trading levels, 2 important levels is, well, first of all, out of all of these here, it's the 10,800 here. The 800 is definitely going to see some profit taking. So it's quite also logical to see a move up into this space and then dropping back from there as well. With the 10,800 as support, however, then we would look for the markets to move higher from that point. So look, there we go. It's quite possible that we have a low in place, but we could look at this as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, the same we're doing on the S&P 500, and then one more move down from that point there. So there's a little bit here to work out. So I don't have any trading strategies for the time being. From this current low though, if we looked at it as wave 3 on the hourly chart as an A and a B and a C wave here, we've just still got a little bit more to move up into this space here before we see any downside come into play here. So this is the same for while I've got the French market here. It's the same here as well. So a slightly different count here, but from wave B here, wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, strong third wave here, fourth wave here. Because wave 2 was complicated, wave 4 is simple in this case. So in this case here, down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4 and 5 here. So it's also possible we've got a low in here as well. The same thing applies though. It would be really nice to see you know, this market, if it had a low in place here, to be, you know, have some evidence of a low here. Once again, on the cash market, the move up here is just in one wave, but in this situation here, we've got the futures market and so on here. So we've got this A, B and C pattern here. This is the 50-60% retracement level from this area here, and the next leg high would bring us into this area here. If I can just remove that here to, that would go into there. So actually, if I just remove that and get a darker line here, because this is the 4,500 is a minor level, and then the 4,800 is also a minor level as well. So that's the most significant number. It's just that we've got this 50-60% retracement level here. So we can look at this as an A and a B and a C wave coming into this space here, perhaps making another high and then moving down. I don't want to call any trades in on this just yet here. So let's just see how the year opens for these. And this is the same for the FTSE as well. So with the FTSE here, we can look to, whoops, this is a slightly different count. I might come back to that here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart, 4 hour and 1 hour, where we've been working. So what we've got, this is the S&P 500, so that's not going to be any chop for us, is it? So let me just get these here. So sorry about that. So, you know, I've got to bring this into line with the European markets as well. So we've got wave, the other with the DAX and so on. So wave 3 here, we can have this as, we can have this wave 3 here with wave 4 sitting on this high here. And then we look at this here as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the same as the other markets. Or we have wave 4 over here. In many cases, this makes quite good A wave, B wave, and C wave here. But then we need to understand what's actually going on with all of this here. So, you know, if the 6,800 becomes the support, then we'd need to be bullish, and we would need to look at the low being in place for this market. Okay, so if I go to, if we count this differently here, if I go, I can't remember what I've done here, I've just got to tune back in. So yeah, so this is the count here if we've got a low in place, which is wave 4 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and wave 5 can be here on this low here. So let's just see how this bounce here pans out for this market here. I don't know if the 1 hour chart where we do our trades, yeah, so I've got it here as an A and a B and a C wave here. It can get have one more high, I guess, but if you want to trade, then you have to buy new highs and sell new lows at this stage. In fact, that can go up under there even a bit closer. But yeah, look, in terms of more of a bullish count, we'd want this 6,800 here to play out. The other count here that I was looking at, I think I had it on the 15-minute chart here. Just bear with me a second. No, I didn't. No, okay, well that's just it then. That's as far as I got. So yeah, look, don't have any solid sort of answers, but let's just have a look at the S&P 500, how it plays out, because if I just bring the S&P across here for a moment, we've got the S&P coming down here as wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So this wave 4 for the S&P, we don't want to see it any higher than what it is here at the moment as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. You can watch the video for that. If this moves up here and makes a new high here, we'll be going long from that point here. But as the count stands at the moment, we can view this to be moving down through here. It was the 15-minute chart that I had here for more of a bullish count, I think. Yeah, so in this count, this is another way to count the S&P with wave A over here, an A and a B and a C for wave B, and down for wave C here, which would be wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, down for 3, 4, and then 5 waves down for C. So we can have a low in this space as well, and this is why we were looking to, if this is breached, this top is breached here, then we'll need to be on the long side for that, simple as that. But otherwise the Elliott count would have us, our primary count would have us moving down further for this. So let's just see how all the markets open, and yeah, we'll get back on track with things. Cheers.